Perennial. Who will mourn him? The body, the last note sung or sown against the night, mouth spreading a heat which keeps us folded together, two halves of the same bell. Where each feather rests is an ache, but moving above me, his shadow waits ready to sing a darkness into this night. Into this night I flowered. Beyond me a shade that waited to tug sleeves of muscle from my arms and embrace. Autumnal, a loss which burns through my veins, winter, which names the witness, witness, which names the night, the night. Sweetened shade of ochre, the light, nipping gently, these strings. The body is strummed, saddle and bridge, skein wrapped tightly. The song has pitch and so plummets, deepens. The sound like a sail unfurling from the throat. What empties him here? The waxing moon spun from the same loom. A dismantled thing. Wings laced to his back. Boy is laid down. Body inescapable. Inescapable, the body. The mottled wreck. My black boy, my God, my name in the mouth of monsters. What serenades this skin knows serration. So I learned this grief early, but still, to tell a difference anything other than this. One body to blade against the next. How when you sing, I sing. I sing and it sounds some chorus resolving. The boy greased, him with a throat licked clean, blade caught, the distance between an eyelash. I try not to see, but part ghost, I am veiled against my own hands. Torn lace, semi-lit, through the thicket, the body, paper light. Paper light, the hue of him held solid against night. Keel pressed, my mouth hums over, and I tilt. Would I ever let go this body and its dreams? And what could have been wished for? And what would have been hoped? Had the hoping lasted? Had body not revved past its sanction? Passing sanction, the body, and that wherever it was to go, it always went. Dark to throat shade, dark to falter, slack-jawed against me. How once again we have been made witness. Here, the horror of the dream unraveling. Here, the boy, and those who will mourn him. Teach me to swell as the ocean, or teach me to swelter. On the shore, each bird felled is each breast bared of its feathers. Brethren, as a broken body throating a chorus, I faint, spear, and press, and the bellies are rocked until they lip open. The way paper folds when eaten by fire, broken to be pleasured, pleasured to be broken, I ask, do you want your meat burned or blackened? But they are too taken by the task. Needles harpooned through temples, ropes worried into the necks, and the bodies brittled as the bodies puzzled over, kingdoms of viscera and featherbone. This is the body's slow ballet. Pivot, or a pill to turn the body botanical. The body pruned and built for quartering, bruised nautical, the pinned body, bow-backed, all overgrown but weeded like the flower bed it is laying bare inside. See now the body undid, idyllic or idle, the right temperature by which to thaw the tongue pressed into the cheek, how what bruises is the grower, ribs grooved and hugging the curve of his bare stomach. If I metaphor a sweetness from this breaking, will he be nothing but body in a basement? If I wanted his name, and even then, just his likeness in stone, he could ask what it means to be made massacre or made mythic, but I wanted this like a seed, one body circling another, the way light borders the dark. When will I learn not to monster his body beyond its own recognition, to not take a name and stretch it through the tongue of a fable? One day I will no longer be surprised what the light might reveal, or how many narratives his dying body might breed. This is a list poem modeled after a poem by Michael Wasson. It's called Notes from One Indigenous Boy to America. And so here's a kind of remix of it. Notes from One Black Boy to America, after poet Michael Wasson. 1. I feel like I'm still telling the same story. 2. Is there anyone here still listening? 3. Lately, no more music bumping through the night. 4. What story are we telling now? 5. Six. I find myself pondering every small apocalypse I come across. 7. Once I stumbled on a marsh field where 2 deer had died. 8. Their antlers locked together. 9. They floated swollen in the rubied water. 10. There was something here about rage and what it can leave in its wake. 11. There's always something here about rage. 12. On fighting fire with fire. 13. Or maybe just something about fighting. 14. America, I have seen the blade, and I've taken it to heart. 15. I'm holding onto anger like it is the last thing I have left. 16. It is the last thing I have left. 17. Listen, you can't shake hands with a blade and still expect to keep your hands. 18. Kendrick Lamar. America, please take my hand. 19. All right. 20. To begin with, I come across a field of roses with severed heads. 21. There's nothing that feels like forgiveness here. 22. In this version of the story, the body is not its dirt. 23. The body is hardened into something like glass. 24. The way that a thing which has reacted to heat has taken to it. 25. How many degrees until temperature is unsustainable? 26. God. 28. I demand my blessing punctual, or else it is not a blessing. 29. To navigate this feeling feels something viral has named me disease. 30. But okay. 31. Another day. 32. Another dead body in these streets. 33. How weeping may last through the night. Joy comes after. 34. Morning. 35. How like questions the guns cock our heads to the side. 36. And there is no answer. 37. Exhausted being where we live now. 38. A room full of men with rose heads pinned to their lapels. 39. What language does not lie ready to amputate, ready to own, disown? 40. All of us here daring ourselves to look our oblivion in the face. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. Once I was a body of water. 46. If you wanted to drink from me, you could drink. 47. It is not enough to feel something and walk within that feeling. 48. To not feel like enough, but to feel too much. 49. I wanted to think I understood something about you. 50. How once I wished to stun open like a violet. 51. Burst apart like the head of a wick. 52. You said you don't want us hunted. 53. You said you want the hunting. 54. America, once I dreamt the world unmapped. 55. 56. Bob Marley. Every law is illegal. Every government upon the face of this earth today is illegal. 57. Everywhere you are is the place that you live. 58. But for the oldest question, what do you grab when your house is on fire? 59. When you have finished speaking and there is an echo that sounds a little like you but isn't. 60. When I look in the mirror, there is a boy who looks a little like me but isn't. 61. The logic of us. Frustrated edges of a nearly nude blade. 62. Two errors in mispronounced tempo. Two boys bobbing in the current. 63. I looked down at the water and the boy looked up at me. 64. He asked, what story are we telling now? 65. How I wanted to drop into him and dissolve. 66. I often find myself in a place wishing to become something else. 67. I often find my hunger like a curb to fix my teeth to. 68. Yes. 69. I often find myself hungry. 70. 71. 72. 73. America, what is your murmur? 74. Once I stumbled across an animal hunched over in a pond. 75. It was eating a dead snake tail first. 76. 77. A rose blooms underwater. 78. I hold my head back and my mouth fills with blood. 79. Today I find myself fathered by the sound of water, fathered by the sunlight, fathered by everything. 80. 81. America, if you are my father, I am your bastard. 82. Run the jewels. Until it's over, I remain hostile. 83. There's always something about rage here. 84. 85. There's always a thing inside of me stopping me. 86. The reasons why being too numerous to list. 87. America, I know you are a burning house. 88. I am ashamed it has taken me this long to smell the smoke. This one has an epigraph from a poem by Kaveh Akbar. The quote is, I suppose what a thing wears is its to destroy. If feathers, fur, or skin, all gift wrapping. Inside, I saw him preening feathers. As in parenthesis, his body within black smoke is a temperature lifting. It hovers over his torso like an enigma. How you are, tongue, half teeth, a duplicate. How you want to see this animal banished from your worn-out beg and forgive. Gingerly pulling at red barbs, this molasses cradle is plushing into emergency. Even before one body above another, what translates, shucked, half of that darkness cloaked. Admit him bleeding through the cavern. His own body a boy might hear, but blade open pursue. Inside I saw him preening feathers, gingerly pulling at red barbs, as in parenthesis, his body within this molasses cradle is plushing, black smoke. Is a temperature lifting into emergency. Even before it hovers over his torso, one body above another like an enigma. How you are what translates, shucked, half tongue, half teeth, a duplicate of that darkness cloaked. Admit, you want to see him bleeding through the cavern, this animal banished from his own body. A boy might hear your worn-out beg and forgive, but blade open pursue. We wish to find agitation here. We wish to see what, when called, might push from this thin white cocoon of an eggshell, yolk drowned and stillborn, damp like a premise, browning rust brushed across the lips of a whisper. A consistent rogue, bell rung and wept over, its feathers bloodied by the salt, our sour tongues humbled by their own braille. See now a boy grows anxious and thorny, his heat rising like an anthem, beheaded like an apparition, made impatient to the prodding but still, captivated by the bright glint of the blade, everything in him bristling against wonderment, everything in him in anger become brittle, a bludgeon pummeled into prism, a smoldering boasting plunder, a body only made to trouble you. Bonfire said spit, gargle, light, light, but the body is the kind of writhing that might buck against what would burn it. A refusal made nude under a match head, poised to devour, how its skin like the rind always tastes the most bitter, how when we bite to taste its rage we are always startled to swallow more. Before he was a body, he was a boy, curled into a corner, fanning his own heat into fire, sweat perfumed with charcoal, body made profane, pinwheeled, his limbs a bramble of branches bending, wrath like a rash, spreading into flames, infatuation being like this, a burning steeple mistaken for lighthouse, blemish mapped into opalescence, fragrance of smoke pulling smolder like lyrics. The boy sees barter on your lips, but knows the blood furred against your palms. To the tune of eclipse, find him lisping from the flames, salivating at the smell of his own burning flesh. A name made embroidery, but a body so burnt it's bald. Call him pyre or brutality, call him bouquet, call him your adoration, the very architect of your desire. Bonfire says, listen child, there is no metaphor in this, I will eat you alive. And we think how the gods used to find the smell of burning meat sweet. He and his all dressed for slaughter, his father the blade, his mother the body, and him the wound, him the pout pulsating around what injures, smoke rising as heavy as sacrifice, perfect mouth filled with seeds and blood, something perverse and pelvic turned into a thing romantic and bizarre. I was surprised that was my last one. I thought I had one more. Thank you, Laura. Thank you all for being here. And I'll leave this.